All right, whenever you're ready.
Hello viewers, today I'll be talking about sexual crimes and sentencing. Fair warning, there will be a lot of sensitive topics and reoccurring words. Warning. What are sex crimes? Sex crimes are some of the most heinous offenses that can be committed in society today. They involve the non-consensual sexual acts including sexual assault, rape, exploitation, and abuse. These crimes often violate a person's personal autonomy and safety, as well as their mental well-being. Despite how serious these crimes are, our judicial system, as well as our justice, does not properly address them. First, we need to understand why punishment for sexual crimes is so lacking. First, one of the main issues is sentencing, as well as the victims not speaking up. This can be due to fear of retaliation, as well as shame and not being believed. Most of the time, people do not come up because it feels like nothing will be done when they do. Even when cases are reported, investigators can take too long to come to a conclusion or find evidence, which means that their case can fall through in court, or it can never even make it to trial. According to RAIN 2025, only about 230 of 1,000 sexual assault cases actually get reported. On top of that, the legal system has a very high burden of proof, which means prosecutors will have to find the accused guilty beyond reasonable doubt. And that's very hard for these cases where personal testimony is one of the main proof. As a result, convictions are very rare where these crimes happen very often. According to RAIN 2024, every 1,000 sexual assault, only 50 lead to actual arrest, and even fewer lead to a conviction. As stated by the Bureau of Justice Statistics 2021, sentencing outcome for offenders differ significantly between jurisdiction and the case circumstances, which can make the system feel like very inconsistent and unfair. Leads to the second issue. Insufficient outcomes can impact victims and society. When survivors see that their cases are dismissed or that the consequences are minimal, it can feel that their trauma is being minimized. This discourages other victims from speaking out because it feels like nothing will be done. According to the National Sexual Violence Center 2016, and this was the latest update on that, fear of not being believed and lack of justice are among the top reasons people do not speak out and that they go unreported. This creates a cycle where crimes continue to be committed and go unreported, which can cause a lot of lack of accountability. Lack of accountability can also create inconsistencies, which can fail to deter people from committing these crimes, because if an individual feels that they are unlikely to be caught or punished for these crimes, they are more likely to commit them. And this also causes our justice system to lose their credibility as a deterrent. Research from the National Institute of Justice 2018 shows that certainty of punishment rather than severity is one of the main deterrents that keep people from committing crimes. So what can be done? First, we need to improve how cases are being handled while increasing punishment. This means investing in better education for our law enforcement as well as our investigators, because the way they handle sensitive cases can also impact how the case goes about. Trauma-informed investigations and interviews can make a world of a difference between whether the victim feels safe enough to come up about how they speak about their trauma, also how the case will go about. According to the National Sexual Violence Resource Center in 2020, these approaches both improve victim cooperation and case outcome. Second, there should be more consistent lethal injection, and chemical castration. I feel these should be implemented because, implemented because only 8 states allow chemical castration and 27 allow lethal injection. Lethal injection is normally used for homicide cases of severe severity. I feel they should be used for sexual crimes as well of medium severity because these people will get out, and a lot of people can see the statistics that they don't do it again. They do. They just don't get caught. I feel it's not a lesson that can be learned because most of them are in their middle age. Yes, majority are men, but they can be women too. And they just become more sneaky about it. Which is why we need to also create more support groups for our victims. If you feel like you are not supported enough, you will not come out about it. You will not stay engaged with your case. So if it does get dropped later on, you can go and create more support for other victims, as well as prevention for our younger generation. I'm not inferring that we treat our younger generation as criminals, but they should understand that their actions do have consequences and they cannot act on desire or impulse because that can change somebody's life forever. And if they get caught, and when they do, that can change theirs as well. In conclusion, it is our